Hey, this is Ebube Olivia Akueme, and I'm coming to you live from Kent in the UK. How are you today? I hope you're well and you're good and you're having an absolutely fantastic Wednesday. So last week I tried getting on here. It was such a big battle with my technology. I don't know what was going on, but eventually it resolved itself, but it was way past time. So apologies, I couldn't come on here, but I did all I could too, but I couldn't. But I posted something, something of value. Let's put it that way. But I hope you're well and you're good. Today, I'm going to be focusing on 3 things that would help you finish the year strong, but also start your next year on a good note, on a strong note. And I guess that, well, this is my guess that is where you want to be. You want to be in a position where you're finishing strong and you're starting your new year, you're starting your next phase, let's put it that way, for all of us as we enter into 2025, God willing, strong. So I'm going to cover 3 things, as I mentioned. The first one actually is skills. With skills. If you're just tuning in, hi Dio, hope you're well and you're good and you're having an absolutely fantastic Wednesday, as much as I am. It's been a very busy Wednesday for me, but a good one, a very good Wednesday. Okay, so if you are thinking about finishing this year strong and then going into next year even strong, and I guess that's where you want to be, and that's a good place to be, to position yourself where you finish your 2024 on a very strong note, on a good note, and then you start your next year even on a better note. These are the 3 things that you want to pay attention to. The first one, as I mentioned, has to do with skills. And around this time of the year, you know, it's always a very good time to take stock of the skills that you have acquired in the year, but most importantly, the skills that you could have acquired, the things that maybe you could have done differently. And acquiring skills is one of it. So as you look into 5 areas of life, your health, your finances, relationships, spirituality, your work, or your career, ask yourself, how much have you grown? How much have you developed in terms of your skills? When I talk about skills, I'm actually referring to your acquiring knowledge and the competencies necessary to help you carry out those skills, you know, at that level of expertise. That's the kind of skills that I'm talking about. So I love this quote that says that money grows on skills, not on trees, which is true, because the better you become as an individual in terms of your skill level, it means that you're able to bring in more value wherever you are, whether it's at your place of work, your community, you know, your business, whatever it might be, wherever you find yourself. You find that you're able to bring on more skills, bring on more value, and the more value you bring, being, you know, a person of value, the more value you bring, you find that you're compensated or rewarded even better. You know, you're compensated more in one way or the other. Sometimes it would be financial, sometimes it might not be financial, but the reality remains that bringing value is one good way of bringing of being compensated, but you do that through skills. So think about, what skills would you want to acquire in this year, but most importantly, what skills do you need for the future? I'm sure there are many skills that if you look inwards, you might find that, okay, you know, maybe in your health, it might be skills around your nutrition, or maybe your work, your career, whatever it might be. But always be thinking about skills, acquiring of skills, understanding that is definitely one way of you forging ahead in terms of your reward, your income, those sort of things. But it would come definitely from a place of you looking inward, acquiring the right knowledge that you need, right knowledge and competency to make way for yourself. So that's number 1. My number 2 point is action. You see, no matter how good words are, no matter how inspiring words are, it is only action that can create change. So you can imagine somebody who says, okay, I want to acquire a skill of becoming a driver. Maybe let's imagine you don't drive, and you say, okay, I want to drive, and I'm going to go and get the skills of becoming a driver. And so you go out there, you learn how to drive, but then you don't use it for anything. You don't start, let's say, you know, even driving yourself around, or a taxi, sort of a taxi business or company or whatever it might be. You just learn the skills. And this can be anything in life. And then you just keep that skill. You don't do anything with it. Action is the thing that actually creates change. Action is the thing that brings the kind of results that you're looking for. The outcomes that you're looking for will come from that place of taking the necessary action. And so the call around this time of the year is to really question yourself and ask yourself, have I been taking action? But most importantly, have I been taking enough action? Ask yourself that question. Have you been taking enough action? Have you been taking the right action and enough action towards some of the things that you're looking at, your outcomes and your results? Have you been taking action? So skills will be number one. Number two will be the kind of actions that you take. Remember that no matter how inspiring words are, words alone would not bring any change. It's the action that you take that will create the change that you're seeking, the change that you're looking for, the change that you anticipate, and all of that is the actions that you put into behind the skills and competency that you have learned that will then create that change for yourself. Number three for me, of the three things that I've mentioned, is the biggest. And number three has to do with your mindset. So as it sounds, mindset, it means that your mind is set in a particular way. You see, there's something that I know that is true, that the people or those who cannot change their minds, they cannot change their results. They cannot change their outcomes. And it's so true. Okay. So there might be certain beliefs and ideas that you have when it comes to, certain perspective in life. And if you're not willing to be open and to begin to change some of these mindsets, especially the ones that are not empowering you and the ones that keep on holding you back from creating those kind of results that you're looking for, then you're stuck. You're stuck because your mindset is a big deal. And of course, it's not something that you're going to change overnight, but at least you must be willing to be open to having, even a little level of conversation. Let's put it that way. So those who cannot change their mind, they cannot change anything. They cannot change their results. They cannot change the outcomes that they seek. So if you've noticed, I've mentioned three things already. Three things that can actually help you finish strong is ending your year. And yeah, we have, just a couple of weeks or thereabouts to end the year, but nothing stops you from registering for a skill. Start learning a new skill around this time of the year, looking for, or engaging in that sort of learning, gaining competencies. Even if you just start watching videos or podcasts, listen to podcasts on the skills that you really want to acquire, that will be a very good place to start. So the first thing has to do with skill acquisition, learning to enhance your skills. The second one has to definitely do with taking action. Now, 2 weeks to go. You might not take all the action in the world, but there's one thing that you can do differently at the end. And you have the answer to that question. What is the one thing that you can do between now and the very last day of this year that it can be just maybe one phone call? It might be, I don't know, just sit down and get clear on your goals. It can be anything. But what is the action you need to take between now and the next 2 weeks? We all have the one thing that, can be done, that if you did that one thing right now, today, or let's say within the next 2 weeks or 7 days, before the year ends, we'll begin to, change the direction, number one, of your, your direction. It just changes your direction. So, as Jim Rohn would say that, I cannot change the direction, of the, you can't, when like you're in a ship, you can't necessarily decide which way the wind will blow. But what you can then do is those little decisions you make, those little actions that you decide to take will begin to change the, the direction of the ship, where the ship is, sailing towards. Okay, so there's certain things that you don't have control over, but there's certain things like your decisions, your choices, your actions that definitely will set you straight, set you in a different direction altogether. And for me, that is the most important thing. And of course, your mindset. And one way to actually begin to work on your mindset is always to read good books. Read good books, listen to great podcasts, things that will enhance your mind. So you might say, okay, I have all the answers and all of that. But then the question is, why are you not producing the kind of results that you should produce? So it means that if you collaborate with good material, good books, those sort of things, that would set you on a different trajectory. And that's where you want to be. A different direction, different trajectory. And of course, you would begin to see different outcomes and results. So remember, S is skills, A is action, and M is mind. So take Sam with you. That's what it is, Sam. Okay? So Sam, to end your year strong, but also to begin your new year even on a stronger note. I got to go, guys. Hi, Maurice. Good to see you, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Dio, for being here live as well with me. Until next Wednesday. Next Wednesday is Christmas. Let's see if I'm going to come on. Let's see. I want to, but let's just see. Probably with something special and different. Until next time, my friends, stay well, be well. Remember your skills, your action, and your mindset. Take care, my friends. Bye.